Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to this channel. Today I'm diving into one of the most powerful shadows that so many of us carry or experience, the shadow of exhaustion and the 40th evolutionary pattern of change. You know that bone deep fatigue that comes from giving too much and receiving too little. Yeah, that is the one. In the 40th evolutionary pattern of change is where this shadow lives. And it asks one question: are you operating from egoic will or divine will? This shadow shows up as martyrdom, dark martyrdom, over responsibility and self-sabotaging loyalty. You say yes when you want to say no. You work yourself into the ground. Before I go deep into this, I'm going to first start with a parable. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. The Lantern Carrier. In a time before time, when the earth was still finding its rhythm, there lived a lantern carrier, a soul whose purpose was to bring light to villages scattered across the night. Each evening, they would walk miles through forests, deserts, and mountains, lighting lanterns outside the homes of others so they would feel safe in the dark. But no one ever asked where the lantern carrier slept, or who lit their light when it flickered low. So the carrier continued, night after night, through storms and silence. Burning from within, they learned to walk with their fatigue like it was a second skin. They forgot their own warmth, and though every home glowed, their own heart grew cold. One night in the deepest stretch of winter, the body collapsed inside a frozen stream. The wind howled like a voice finally released. And in that silence, the carrier whispered, "Is there no one to light my lantern?" From the stream rose a figure, a mirror of the carrier, made of water and breath. "No," it said, "there never was, because you never let them." The carrier wept, not from pain, but from remembrance. For the first time, they opened their pain and let the lantern fall. They lay on the ground and looked at the stars, and there, in the stillness, they were lit not from fire, but from grace. Today, we're not here to fix this 40th pattern of evolutionary change. We're here to understand it. This specific pattern of change carries the shadow of exhaustion, and it runs far deeper than physical tiredness. This is the exhaustion of a soul who's forgotten its own value unless it's doing, producing, and serving. This shadow lives in the cellular memory of humanity, in our bones, our breath, our bloodline stories. It's the echo of generations who were taught, work hard and you'll be worthy. Put others first or you're selfish. Rest is weakness. Responsibility is love. But this conditioning doesn't evolve us. It drains us. And ironically, the more we give from emptiness, the more we separate ourselves from the divine flow we seek. The complementary shadow to exhaustion is a 37th evolutionary pattern and its shadow of weakness, with its fear that fuels it and the fear that one or most are powerless to make the changes necessary in the world. Its repressive nature of becoming over-sentimental and its reactive nature of becoming cruel. So you can see how both shadows play on each other to keep us drained in the doing, as opposed to allowing us to rest and discover the true source of willpower that's waiting for us to be channeling. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work. Over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign, so you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than 7, and because there are more than 7, because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the 6 lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are 6 expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those 6 lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers, And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the Human Design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the Wheel of Evolutionary Change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you were meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. The role that this shadow plays in physical evolution. Let's look at this biologically. This 40th challenge sits within the heart and will center, a place that governs commitment, resources, willpower, and survival instinct. In the physical realm, this shadow manifests as adrenal fatigue, overactive stress hormones, emotional burnout, and chronic disconnection from why we do what we do. Our nervous systems were never designed to carry the burdens we internalize. When one denies their needs long enough, one's body steps in. It will force us to rest through collapse, illness, emotional numbness. And yet, paradoxically, this collapse is an evolutionary invitation. The spiritual process of this shadow and evolutionary challenge. Every shadow holds a gift, not by resisting, but by surrendering to its lesson. The shadow of exhaustion is not punishment, it's a threshold. It exists to show us that our egoic will, the need to manage, control, and sacrifice, can never sustain us, because our soul was never designed to burn for others. It was designed to radiate from within. And when one finally collapses, when one can no longer fake being okay, something ancient awakens. That's when divine will enters, not through force, but through surrender. The path from fear to grace. The fear will tell you, if I stop giving, I'll lose love. If I don't overwork, I won't be safe. If I express my needs, I'll be rejected. But the truth is, your worth is not negotiable. The moment you remember that, you begin to shift from the fear of becoming a martyr to allowing for the channel of divine will to grace you with the strength and the flow that you need. The grace of divine will is what remains when all of your false identities collapse. The grace of divine will is the divine breathing through your life, not because you earned it, but because you finally let go. This is the hidden gift of the 40th evolutionary pattern. not to be useful, not to be needed, but to be whole. So I invite you to sit with this challenge. Don't fix it. Don't rush to transcend it. Just feel the truth of it. When in your life are you exhausted? What have you been giving that's no longer sustainable? What would it mean to serve from resolve, not martyrdom? This 40th challenge doesn't ask you to give more. It asks you to receive, not from others, but from the divine source within you and the channel from the divine will waiting for you to surrender. If this message speaks to something inside of you, something ancient and true, leave a comment, share your story, or simply breathe with it. Because your path is not about becoming more. It's about remembering you're already enough. Until next time, may your rest be holy, may your giving be sacred, and may the divine will carry you forward. Down in the description below, you will find more about this shadow. You will also find a link to an email, so in case you really want to get true, deep consultation on how to transmute this, or you want to learn more about me, what I do, how I do it, and why I do it, click the links below. If you need support, you're looking for a social network that does just that, I have 3. Various interests are applied here. 3 with very unique purposes. First one is divination systems, so you can understand how to navigate this wheel of evolutionary change and find your true source of divine wellspring within you. The next is emotional intelligence and mastery. And in that group, we learn about how emotions can fuel us in our divinely guided manifestations. The third is emotional trauma release group, in which that group holds a sacred space that is safe for us to allow the emotions of exhaustion and powerlessness to emerge and be released, to create vacancy for divine will to be able to fill in those vacancies so that you can walk your next first step after rest with a sense of optimism. Thank you for watching this video in its entirety. I look forward to providing you further insight into the other 64 evolutionary patterns of change and the shadow work involved in them. Until next time, God bless you on your journey. Namaste, and good life to you all.